Welcome to Healing Steps Wellness. I'm Dr. J.
I'm May.
Your trusted guide to whole person health, one step
and one bite at a time.
Hi, how are you, May?
I'm good. This is a very exciting. That's my favorite topic.
Yeah, your most favorite topic. That's why we don't have a guest. We talk a lot.
Yes. I get to talk about that.
We are going to talk about food as medicine today.
Yay!
Where should we start? Let's start with what type of activities you do in a community that involves food, or what does, but
Cooking demo. I have been nonstop sharing the January recipe, which kind of relevant to your talk in January about
insulin resistance. They
right.
involve neuropathy, diabetes, all that.
Right. And so basically the January's recipes incorporate a lot of high fiber, also the really very friendly to the blood friendly to people who concerned about their blood sugar. So we have entertained the bean and sweet potato, dates, a lot of leafy green, go with the citrus fruit, oranges, and put them together in several different delicious dressing, treat, salad. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take one step back. Why is this type of nutrition important?
Well, we say that food is medicine, but a very simple concept of that is we are what we eat. So if we, everybody has an experience, and if we are eating a lot of food that doesn't agree with our body, we feel miserable. Your acid reflux will increase. You feel tired, and also you start to feel ache and pain, right? Especially any I cannot say call them all considered food because they are junk food, they are packaged stuff, they are not considered food because they actually trigger your body information and to have your chronic illness flare up and you feel pain until you pull that out and do something right, then that help you get back to right track. That's a food as medicine.
So from what you say, now we promote a 6 pillars of healthy lifestyle. And among that, you believe that nutrition is a foundation because we need to eat every day, right? We need to eat to make sure we have enough energy. If we put the wrong fuels inside our body, we are not able to function, not able to move to run as efficient as it should be. So it is a foundation. And also from what you say, I can sense that it also get into the myth. Some people say, oh, I eat very healthy, a healthy lifestyle, but the food is not as healthy as they would think. Is because they are putting on wrong type of food. For example, they say, I'm eating plant-based, but they are eating the processed, highly processed vegan food. So even though it's a plant-based, but it's not healthy.
Right.
So is that what you mean, that when they have a healthy food, but it's not as healthy because they stick to one category of the name instead of that? So you are moving the so-called nutrition dance instead of category like the vegetarian or keto or vegan. Is that what you mean?
Okay. All right, let's just step back again from me. So now it's in January. Today is January 16. A lot of people get on the New Year resolution, right? They want to get healthier, and then they are gear up to what can I do to make myself feel better after all this holiday eating. Also, I want to reduce my weight. I pack up a lot of high calorie stuff. Now I need to get back to normal. Should I run? Should I do this and do that? Should I go to gym? I sign up, but we also heard that one business saying that normally the beginning of the year, a lot of people sign up for the gym membership, and then afterward, kind of reduce, the frequency. A lot of people, they don't come in. So the same with the eating too. I think that the so important concept is what is healthy eating, what is nutrient dense food, and how do we eat that smart. There's a very simple concept about that. I just did a presentation to a group of business women, female business leaders this morning, and there's one message I feel like it's very well connected with the majority of people. We normally follow or fall into the fad diet. And once we got into the booby trap and we got frustrated and that system failed us. So I normally tell people, follow something very simple. And we say eat smart, which we'll go through that later. So think about the key principle. What is considered nutrient dense item? The vegetable, the fruit, they also in a different hierarchy among their own group. And how do we adapt that in a very simple way, very say doable way? And how do we make our family inclusive to be part of this journey, or even make it fun activity experience, so we can make that more sustainable? So I think that's the key of healthy eating, but also healthy living. As Dr. J, you mentioned, the wellness, the whole person approach to wellness is not just a nutrition, but also encompass the other 5 health pillars. We all need to take that into consideration.
Right. So it all comes to a word that people are getting very familiar with. It's called information. Right. Everything is information. And the food plays a big role in this information thing. It's just as basic as the food we eat is either inducing information or reducing inflammation. So such as, I'm not a big supporter of dairy, because when you think about the definition of an allergen, meaning things that cause allergy, the number one, they are foreign, meaning not come from our own body unless a person has an autoimmune disease. It's coming out of our body. And second thing, most of them are protein. So when you look at dairy, it's from a cow or another animal, if it's a goat. And then you also have mostly protein. So when you drink the milk into our body, it is really reasonable to know that it causes a lot of inflammatory responses in our body. And that low-grade inflammation will actually affect our body. And that's the reason why I'm not promoting dairy. And it's the same thing. There are other things that will cause that: refined carbohydrates, sugar, refined flours, all of those, when we eat it, and they will be converted, they'll induce the insulin response right away. Glucose will jump up, insulin will jump up, and that will cause inflammation to our body. And that's the reason why people say, especially with diabetes, they say, oh, it's a carbohydrate issue, because whenever I eat carbs, the blood sugars will go up. So that is the effect we see. It's not a root cause. The root cause of the insulin resistance is because there's too much saturated fat inside the cells, especially muscle cells. Muscle is the largest organ to use glucose. And the job of insulin is as simple as just moving glucose into the cells for the cells to function, because glucose is the main fuel for all the cells in our body. And if the insulin cannot move into it, the cells will not be able to function. And so when we eat carb, and then the glucose will go up, that's because saturated fat issue. So we need to separate the root cause versus the effect we see.
And to answer your question, among all the 6 health pillars, I feel like, according to my experience with the clinic and the people that I talked to and encountered with in the community, the nutrition comes to number 1. It's a fast way to help people feel better. Why? Because when their body is so inflamed, like you mentioned, they truly cannot move too much. They also lose the motivation, or they don't feel want to do something, because the food we put in our body affect our mood. So even though we are trying very hard, try to do like a meditation or any way to distress ourselves, but if we do not pull out the trouble ingredient in our diet, we won't get any further to make ourselves healthier or feel better. We need to stop the things that really cause a lot of information, and to help people to put in a more antioxidant rich, or something can boost your immune system, make you feel alert, energetic, and then you get that desire to do more, you become happier. That's why we put that as a first priority. But also we need to to promote, encourage like a movement, even as short as 10 minutes and 30 minutes, a habit, walk as a habit after each meal. So yes, to answer your question in a long answer is, I value nutrition is so important. We do need to address that. But also how you make your food taste so good and then so appealing, that's another thing that I am trying to bring out to the community, to people. So we can have those healthy eating taste very good, but also it's a kind of fun to prepare them, and very enjoyable.
Yes, that brings up several key points. Number one is, if the person has pain, the person cannot move, doesn't want to move. That's one thing. A second thing is, you mentioned inflammation, and research has shown that when there's a lot of inflammation going on in the body, your brain could be inflamed. We call it neuroinflammation. So when the brain is inflamed, it has affecting our we call it executive decision. That means you're not able to make the right choices, and people tend to be able to more anxious, depressed, like that. So they lose their motivation to move. And number three, I like to tell my patients, you can outrun a bad diet.
Bad diet.
So regardless how much you walk, you run, and then you don't look at your nutrition, you're still going to gain weight. And so that is the main thing right there. And of course, you mentioned the main thing is, it has to be tasty.
Right.
No matter how good it is, if you think about every meal, before you go eat, and you feel like, I'm taking a bitter medicine, so it'll be very tough. And I know that's your specialty, making food beautiful, delicious, and tasty, and of course nutritious.
Yeah. I want my food presented to people that is colorful, appealing, because that increase your appetite, and we also eat with our eyes. So sometimes I even feel like, whoa, if I made something doesn't look appealing, I'm thinking, I'm going to question, am I going to even touch it? So that's very important. We eat with our eyes.
Yes, and I also know that you emphasize on whole food, right? The food as less processed as possible, because research even show that processed food is very detrimental to our health. Because highly processed, they also has a lot of like salt, sugar, high fat inside, and then as long as it's processed, it's much easier for the body to digest and turn into glucose and also calories. And that's why you also mentioned, you emphasize on whole food diet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We need to eat the real food that as origin closer to origin as possible. But when also you at a time you really need to buy the prepackaged food, you look at the ingredient. The least ingredient, the better, and also look at the sugar and salt and oil content. So yeah, that's what we have to be the advocate of our own health. Be very cautious about how we vote with our dollar on the product. And we can save the money that way because we feel much better. We don't need to go to a doctor that often.
Yes, you talk about salt. Salt is one thing that people don't pay attention to. And the soup or any sauces, those are the places that salt and sugar usually tend to hide. And what is a basic guideline to look at whether any package has too much salt?
So for example, if you look at, and it is not very complicated. So if you look at the nutrition label and then they have a serving size up there and normally has a number, it's called calorie per serving. Then you look at the sodium content, the number on the sodium cannot exceed the calorie number up there. That's a one quick review. And then second is the sugar. You want to make sure you stay away from the artificial or added sugar. You know, some dry fruit, you will see that the sugar content is high because it's a concentrated. It's the like for example, date itself is a sugar. It's a very sweet. Very sweet itself when it's dry, and so I normally use that to replace the refined sugar. So that's a consider my sugar ingredient to enhance the dessert, the taste of even dressing or a lot of food. So that's the kind of a few key tips that people can.
Okay, so when you talk about healthy eating, whole food, plant-based, can you think about what barriers people have in this modern society?
I think people just feel like healthy eating, but they truly don't. They don't quite know what does it mean by healthy. So they want to do there are a lot of program out there kind of counting the calorie. You put yourself on the scale, measure that every day. You count every cup that you eat, and that truly drive me nuts. Unless some people they have a certain medical condition, they have to follow very strict guideline ordered by their physician. That's a different story. But for people, majority of the people, you want to feel great. Basically the healthy eating is you go by certain big principle group, very simple. It's like what we recommend you, what kind of a food group you should go after. And once you stuff your stomach with a lot more that healthy ingredient, then the rest of you don't have an appetizer for the rest of the um non is a so-called non-healthy item. For example, the deep fried chips, the very salty prepackaged chips. You don't have an appetite for that. It's because you put your good food in your tummy as a priority and you don't have a room for that. And another principle is for healthy eating, not only the ingredient by itself, but you also give your body a good, reasonable time, such as 4 hours, between the two meals. So because that interrupts your gut health and the function, your internal organ to function. So that kind of key principle, it all come together and eat the food, take your time to enjoy every bite, allow your saliva to interact with the food that you break down in your mouth. That is not only one thing, but it's the entire process, and it's slow.
Okay, so I sense that what you mean is you don't want to just count the calorie, because if your stomach is not full, you'll be hungry. So this strategy will not be sustainable, because you're not able to sustain hunger day in, day out.
Right.
And so that's why a plant-based nutrition, you eat a lot of leafy green or those healthy things go into our body, not only that can produce antioxidants, anti-inflammatory effects, but at the same time, they physically fill your stomach.
Right.
So you don't have the hunger. And if you just eat a refined food, for example, high sugar, a lot of oil, you reach the same amount of calories, but it only occupies a little bit of your stomach, and you'll be hungry. So, and that is the reason why you want to have a whole food plant-based, and that's right. But how do people get started on healthy eating?
Yeah, very easy. Follow me. Okay. I know we are going to send a link on this episode, but truly Lotus Health Foundation started the virtual health Lotus community, and we are going to roll out starting from January 17, which is a Saturday. This episode probably won't release in time. But we are going to do that on a monthly basis. And so we are going to have the recorded video and my cooking demo. But to answer your question, how they do that, they can truly follow Lotus Health Foundation to sign up any community event that we offer, because I feel like spending the time to do the cooking demo to allow people to taste the food which the food will explain itself to convince the people by itself already. I don't need to say more words. They just we have the experience that a participant just chase after us for the recipe because they love it. They feel great. And then healthy eating for how to cook a beginning is to adopt 2 or 3 simple recipe. Very simple. For example, my orange dressing. It's the key ingredient is the orange, tahini, and the dates if you want sweeter, and apple cider vinegar. As long as you have a blender, put them together. That's your recipe, your dressing. Okay. Now, I do want to remind people on one thing that you point out very important is when we share with kind of help people understand that the oil doesn't matter whether it's the grapeseed oil or the avocado oil or sesame seed oil or whatever the oil, olive oil. The amount of the 1 tablespoon of oil, it's equivalent to a bundle of the original ingredients such as olive or the corns to make that 1 tablespoon. And think about that's a very calorie dense ingredient. We easily add up a lot of calorie in our body, but it doesn't satisfy us because it doesn't fill our stomach. So a lot of people ask about, well, how about this oil, that oil, because they are very healthy for us. We emphasize on the principle of taking the whole food. We do need good fat, but nuts and seeds, avocado, that will help us fill the stomach, but also provide us a good fat to feed our body cell. Once we have those nutrient dense food, to feed our body cell, then we are not in a stage always constantly looking for snack and snacking. The more you snack, the bigger slack you have. This is from my mentor, Dr. Hans Steele. teaching in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Snacking, because when you ask people how much food they eat or how much calorie they intake, they usually count the meals, but they forget about counting the snacks.
Right.
And the snacks usually tend to be more processed and higher calories. But at the same time, they also tie into what you said previously, that you want to keep 2 meals at least 4 hours apart.
Right.
Because that's related to the gut movement.
Yes.
So when the gut movement, pushing the food inside your GI system, the emotions, the movement will be interrupted if you eat food, and they'll stop, and then they keep your food stuck into your GI system. And I understand that you do a lot of cooking demo activities in the community.
Yeah.
You want to share?
Yeah. One day I would like to have my own commercial kitchen, so a kitchen, so I can really do the real cooking demo in a larger scale. But right now, I put a lot of a thought into the food I want to present and the recipe. I always have like a nutrition facts with that, because why what is the reason behind this recipe. I tweak the recipe a lot, so I present that at KDD monthly. We contributed to the KDDC Midwest Access to Show on a monthly basis. You have 5 minutes of a talk, and I have a 5. Now I'm going to have a 10 minutes of the cooking demo, because we talk about food. It's just never enough time to talk about the ingredient, the healthy eating. And another thing is, we do want to incorporate a variety of the ingredients. And in the local show at 125 Live, with monthly basis, everywhere we go, talk about the brand health community project, the Healthy Brand Community Project, January, February, March, and we will have those dates set out. I wanna entertain the audience with the food sample and then have the recipe, because when truly food is a medicine, and also is a prescription, the recipe considered as a prescription, because they make us feel better, enhance our health. So as many places I go to share the cooking tip, I feel like that is where we spread the joy and the hope to people's optimal health.
Yeah, so you also have the monthly cooking at the Ronald McDonald House.
Yes.
And
thank you for the hint.
Rochester Clinic and Rochester Health Foundation are also involved with some CDC grants. For example, we have the nutrition guideline.
Yes.
We go into different temples, church to look at their eating habits and look at their environment. We're also involved in the Produce prescription program. Literally prescribe the produce. And the Rochester Health Foundation also has a Pharmacy RX community garden.
Right.
You want to share about that?
Well, the community garden truly started from 2020 when the pandemic hit, and we create a space for volunteers to get together to plant some vegetables. We grow for, in the past 6 years, that has been grown to a larger scale. We got the medical school student to get involved. They want to learn about how the food as a medicine and produce a prescription work, because they are the key healthcare providers for the future generation. We have the volunteer be able to come together, social network together, and then bring some producer home, and we donate the extra. There are tons of produce to give away local, organization, and we use the ingredients a lot for our cooking demo in the community. So it's well present what we promote. So yeah, and every year we get excited to plan that. What are we going to plan next year? That's that's so exciting.
Yes, garden is good, but even if you don't have a garden, go to farmer's market, get some fresh produce. That's very important. I usually tell my patients 3 basic principles.
Yes.
To increase your daily nutrition. And number one is called GBOMB.
Yes.
From Dr. Joe Furman.
Joe Furman, yes.
So it's green beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds, GBOMBs. Incorporate that into your diet every day. And second one is eat a rainbow. Everyone hear about that? Eat a rainbow. Because every color is a pigment, is an antioxidant. So you want to get different colors in every day, so to increase the antioxidant. And the third one is just you want to consume at least 30 different plant foods every week.
Yes.
Not just 30 servings, 30 different plant foods. But you can count the herbs, that spice into it too.
Nuts and seeds.
There are so many microbiomes in our GI system. So not everyone does eat the same food. So you want to give them different varieties, even tiny, different small amounts of spice or herbs. Those also feed certain microbiome inside our body.
Right. That is so true. You know, I think I pick up the tip from you when you did a presentation at different places that make my presentation this morning at a women's group so successful, because that is easy to remember. And that also is a tool to share with a family member, especially little kids and your significant other. How do you model yourself? Experiment that. And it's kind of fun. You can make it a fun game with your little kids or grandkids and say, hey, let's have a chart and then let's just check off. How do we get our 30 ingredients yet? And do we cover all the rainbow of a color? Do we have the GBOMBS? I believe if we plan our meal intentionally with that simple principle, that will give us a fun challenge at our house. But also we model ourselves, we feel great, your kids feel great, your the other partner feel great, and then you automatically want to share with your workplace. They will see, oh, what have you been doing? You feel so different and you glow. We want to bring a positive influence to others because of our personal transformation. That is so powerful.
Yes. So what I emphasize again is a whole food, and then go through GBOMBs, eat a rainbow, and that is 30 different foods per week. So, and I know that's a lot of things we can cover, and you have a lot of activities in the community, but what would be one opportunity for people to join you in the community? So
number one, go to Lotus Health Foundation, scroll down to the bottom of the webpage and sign up to be on our email list. So you will receive the weekly e-newsletter with the upcoming event, and also receive the link to our monthly supportive community. It's free right now because we want to help you feel better. A lot of education material, a lot of free info out there. It's valuable, and we are going to have fun.
And can I tell them a secret? If they
What?
sign up, they are able to get your monthly recipe.
They do. They can get my monthly recipe. We also have a QR code to the e-recipe book. And let me tell you, everyone is, you are empowered to create your own version of your special meal, even though, you adopt the recipe, but you can kind of customize it to your own, because it's an important thing is that you need to feel enjoyable, that you like it, because what you like may not necessarily be the thing for other people. So I encourage you, don't be don't be shy away from the recipe, all the ingredient. If you are missing one ingredient, just sub with the other. For example, if we call for walnut, you don't have a walnut, just use almond. If you don't have a kale, just do the other like a lettuce. Just something that in your refrigerator, you can make a refrigerator leftover makeover. Just clean up a little bit, make it a colorful dish. So
Moscow meal.
Moscow meal, yes.
Okay, and I also know that there will be a good opportunity for people to learn about nutrition along with other health pillars. That is the April community of wellness. You want to talk about
That's
that?
a big time. So the community of Lotus Health Foundation hosts one large event that is called Community of Wellness Symposium and Gala. And this is two-day event with the breakfast, lunch buffet. Everything is colorful, so tasty, that included in your registration, which we extend the early bird pricing until the end of January. Hop on a wagon. You will definitely gain a lot more. A lot of people, they came to our event last year. They had no clue of what they got into, but they just cannot get over with it. They, oh my, I cannot picture who doesn't want to come here. So of course, they come back again this year. So we want to encourage people that we have a great speaker. And I know you emphasize a lot on the one hero is the AMA president, Dr. McMullen, who will be our keynote speaker, but also will present at the Mayo Clinic Grand Round. It's a big time. We also have a GI doctor, Dr. Will Boswick, that he is internationally well-known GI doctor, and he's also going to present at a Mayo Clinic Women's Health Grand Round. And you are going to talk about sarcopenia. We have the stretch. We got the breathing. I mean, there's just a lot of great topic to help people. Okay, the theme this year is the vitality, the longevity and vitality. We want to grow healthy, younger every year.
Yes. Yeah, we also have Dr. Neil Bonner coming in, and the queen of plant-based nutrition,
Yes,
Brenda Davis is coming, and the nutritarian Dr. Joel Furman. They talk about nutritarian, not just the food, but you focus on nutrient dense. That is the key, the nutrient dense. Oh, that's a lot to cover. So how would people get more information from this food and how to contact you?
Well, Julie, on our follow the link right here. We have the link to our event site and also the registration. So hop on a wagon as soon as possible while the seats are open. And if you are local business or any business that you want to get involved with this excitement, please sponsor us as a small investment as a $950. You get a booth. You also get one complimentary regular admission to have access to the symposium. Gala is a separate ticket. If you business, we encourage you to adopt a table, purchase a table, invite your team to be involved with this very unique, only lifestyle medicine conference in Minnesota. And let's grow healthier community, bigger and wider.
Yes. So the keynote speaker is the AMA president. And this conference is also providing CME credits for the healthcare professionals as a CMA accredited conference. So that's a lot of information on the food, and it's making me hungry. So I think that's about it for today. And I really want to thank everyone for joining us on Healing Step to Wellness. I'm Dr. J.
I am May.
Guiding you toward whole person health, one step
and one bite at a time. So we'll see you next time.
See you next time.